What's up? Y'all are now tuned in to Truth Carpet with your favorite best friend duo, LoveLoudd LLC. It is me, Monie, and I'm with my bestie.
Yaskis for y'all listening.
Period. You better be ready with the rhyme because it is time to get into it, y'all. This is our season finale for season 5. This is episode 80.
Dang.
80. Yes. We've done so many episodes. We made it to 80, and I'm surprised we still find things to talk about. Okay,
right.
We've made it to 80 episodes. Wow, that is a lot. Come on, let's give ourselves a round of applause and a pat on the back. You feel me?
Yeah.
Shout out to us. Consistency being key. Us not giving up. Yo, it feels good. I like that. This is nice. Okay.
That's on to Queen. This is so nice.
Yes, I'm super, super excited. I mean, sad that the season is coming to an end, but very, very proud and excited at the fact that we still keeping it going, keeping it rocking, keeping it rolling, and giving y'all this content, giving y'all these episodes. Mm-hmm. Like 80 is a big deal. Some people don't make it past 8. So right. I'm really, really proud of us. Right. I'm really, really proud of us literally thinking to how we started. Some of y'all have heard this before, but I can't help but mention it. Like not even having a podcast and starting on IG and just talking and people telling us that we should make it a podcast, Mm-hmm. So like the fact that it's still going strong, shout out to us and the people that support us and continue to push us, mm-hmm. Hey, where's that episode? Y'all ain't have an episode. What happened? Where is it at? I appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. It feels really, really, really good. So
it's not the end of an era. What feels good for me is people who I'm not even thinking that you're listening. Like, even though I know our loyal listeners, like Ronald and some other people, they listen all the time. But still, I don't think, as soon as it drops, they're going to listen. So I always welcome the feedback, whether it's from a loyal listener who's Ronald, or somebody who listens every now and again, like my friend Dom. Every now and again, he'll be like, I listened to this episode, and you can run down and tell me what we talked about. That right there feels good, because a lot of times when people become successful in life, they always say it's always strangers who support you and never, people that's close. So to have both strangers and people that's close reflect back on the things that we're doing, and like you said, to actually be able to have 80 episodes, be able to talk about things for 80 episodes, to be able to have guests for probably 60 episodes, like however many times we had guests on our podcast, it's so amazing. And I was actually talking to Peter, who's our friend, PC, who's our friend Priscilla. I gave all the names. Right. I was like, well, I don't know, like how much more can we talk on a podcast where we're just not talking about current events? We've never, for 80 episodes, talked about current events, which is not easy, because, you would think that you'll run out of stuff to talk about, but we haven't thus far. And mm-hmm. I think that the topics that we share with the people have been really, really great. A lot of times I found myself listening back to the episodes myself. Like one time I listened a few times, maybe like 5 times randomly, just go back to the episode we had with Ronald and Nadir. I really thoroughly enjoyed that episode and other episodes too. So it's been a great journey. Been a fun ride. It's mm-hmm. been trying. That last episode with Jaslyn, oh my God, when I listened back, my heart sank, because that was a really, really good episode. So we've had trying times where our episodes this season have not come out on time, but I appreciate the grace that we've given each other. Where in the beginning, it was just so much pressure, I think internally, like pressure inside my head, pressure inside your own head of, we got to get this out. But this year it was more lenient, like, somebody canceled on us, we're not going to force it to come up with a topic in 30 seconds so we can record. Okay, we'll give it grace and we'll record in a week or so, but whenever we have time to. So that's been feeling really good, partner-wise, with you this year, not having that pressure. It is, I need to shut up now because I'm rambling, but I'm just happy. This is bittersweet that this is our last episode for the season, but this is also the time of the year where we refresh and think about what's to come. And I know you need this refresh because there's a lot on your plate right now. And yeah, it's just very
Absolutely.
sweet.
Hey, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get into it. So check in before we forget. I just want to check in on a couple of things. So one, since the last episode, I am officially 9 pounds down. I'm officially 9 pounds down, 11 pounds away from my goal. And that, my friends, that feels good. At first, it was hard to be consistent. Mind you, I'm not even going to the gym as often because schedule is crazy. But the fact that I've been consistent, because they say it's 80% in the kitchen, right? Whatever the number is, it takes more of like what you put into your body that really gets the that system going of like what your body needs to regulate and get to where you need to be. So I'm like, that part, I'm getting the hang of it now. I started cooking again.
Meal prep.
I did a little meal prep, yes, and man, it's working. Just having like that small portion of what I need, being satisfied, and as a result, my stomach has shrank a little bit. I cannot eat as much as I used to, and I'm able to recognize like, okay, I'm satisfied, and I'm not like overeating, like feeling like I have to finish this because this is what I have on my plate. So like just being mindful of those things. And I have not been drinking during the week. I have not slipped. And I'm very proud of myself. Shoot, at this point, I don't even think I've been drinking on the weekend. I think I just been like, if I go out, I might have like a drink or two. But I don't go out as often. So I'm proud of myself for that. I'm still reading the 4 agreements. I haven't had as much time to read as I would like to. Between work and I'm back in school.
Oh my gosh.
Miss Loud is back in school. I am officially on the journey to receive my doctorate. Listening to this right now, I am officially in week 7. So I'm halfway through. Actually, I just passed the halfway mark of my first semester. I will be receiving. Oh, I'm about to cry. Jesus, it's only the beginning of this episode. Jesus. I'm on the journey to receive my doctorate in educational leadership and organizational innovation. And it took me a while to get here. Like, I'm really, really excited. Dang it, Yaya, it's happening anyway.
It's like the episode with Natasha and with Jasmine. Both of us getting emotional.
I'm really, really proud of myself. Like, considering like working full time and how I got there, and now I'm like really like honing in on really what I really want to do. Like, we've talked about like seeing where we want to be and what we want to do. And like finally I just took the step to be like, it's something that's been on my mind for a while. Now's the best time to do it. There's never going to be a perfect time to do anything. And I remember back in April, I was speaking to someone who I can't remember who I was speaking to. I was randomly speaking about like how I was thinking about going back to school. And this particular person already had their doctor. And she was like, what are you waiting for? Just do it. She's like, I did this, 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 and this. This how I got to where I wanted to be. And just getting like just that tidbit of information. I was like, she's right. What am I waiting for? Especially since it's something that I've been thinking about since I got my master's. I was going to go back to school immediately, but I'm glad I didn't. Everything takes time and everything has alignment and everything has a purpose. I wouldn't be getting my doctorate in this. I was thinking of going for film studies, which as of right now, I wouldn't actually go get my doctorate in film studies at all. So I feel like everything that I've been through leading up to this point from a couple of episodes ago was all starting to make sense this chapter of my life. Everything is just aligned, and I'm very, very, very grateful. Very tired. So last episode came out a little late because I've been just, I don't want to say overwhelmed, because it's like it's a good overwhelm, but at the same time it's like me just having to recognize how to juggle my schedule now. So it's more so like I have papers that I'm writing every week, research that I'm doing every week, baby, because Dr. Loud is loading. So it's all about like a recalibration and a reset of like where I'm aligning my time and my schedule. So I'm very, very, very proud of myself. Working full time. I also teach after school twice a week. I got my step team. You know, I'm
juggling a lot.
I'm juggling a lot, but I'm also finding a way to get it done. So I'm loving the space that I'm in and what I'm able to get done. It feels really, really good. It feels really good. And I'm glad that I'm able to close out this episode with that news because I was like, should I share? Should I not share? Why not share? It's an accomplishment
And it
that
goes with
I've
our
been able to
topic too.
reach, and it does. It goes with our topic. So happy to share that. It feels good.
I'm on the opposite end of feels good. I don't feel bad though, but I'm. Before we started recording, Monie said, "So did you skate yesterday?" And I think in the last episode I said I was gonna skate, um, but I didn't get a chance to skate because me depending on the person that was going to train me. That person was not feeling well. So yesterday was the date that we scheduled to actually skate together. And I was like, well, I'm still going to skate. But long story short, because of how yesterday went, I didn't get the chance to skate. But today, I will take a picture with my skates on because I went to the skate shop a few days ago just to get ready for yesterday, planning the skate, getting our wheels ready and everything like that. And it was been a year almost because the last time I skated was before Choice's wedding. So it's been
Oh
almost a
wow.
year. Yeah, it's been almost a year since I felt what a skate boot feels like on my foot. And I was in the skate shop and there were the other men in there asking me like about mine and the person that's going to teach me how to skate, our skills and everything. And I said, well, he's skilled. He's actually going to teach me how to skate. But I'm scared because I haven't put on skates in about a year. Realized that I was using the excuse of feeling tired. Well, actually, I was tired, but I realized I didn't go back to the skate classes because I'm like, dang, when I was last in the class, we were all on the same like learning peak. Like we would skate together after the class was over and like, okay, you got this, you don't got this or whatever. Then I realized, okay, it's 2 weeks since, it's 3 weeks since, it's 2 months since. And now I'm like, I'm gonna be way behind the class when I go and having a conversation with another friend. It's like I did the same thing when it came to guitar. I did the same thing when it came to piano. I did the same thing when it came to other things. And actually, I might get back into guitar. We'll talk about that later. But skating, I'm like my mom and my best friend. I keep saying it's invested in these damn skates, and I need to put the skates on. So yeah, I have my trainer in place. I have my skates. I just need to go skate. And now, thankfully, where I live, the garage is paved. The trainer has a space where we can go to skate. And then the plan is by December we'll be able to like go to skating rinks like parties and stuff, and I'll be able to feel okay on the rink going backwards, forwards, and things like that. So that's where I'm at with that. Book wise, I'm doing okay. Whenever I get a chance to pick up my book, I carry it in my purse or whatever. I'm reading. Everywhere else in life, I'm pretty much happy. Found myself in a conversation with Raven yesterday. Again, it's been a year, well, a little over a year now since I became a supervisor, and she was talking about like how much more demanding different jobs are and everything. And I said, well, it's not you. It doesn't mean that you can't accomplish it. Don't get in your own way. Just because you hear somebody else who's a supervisor or a director or a CEO or whatever space they are complaining or whatever doesn't mean that that's their burden is going to be your burden. Because that's the same thing that was in my way for about 2 years, where people at my job, and I think I shared this before with you all, kept saying, "Oh, you should be supervisor. You should be supervisor." And I was like, like the way that they be complaining about the stuff that they got to do and the stuff they got to read and how people act. No, thank you. It wasn't until people who were like on the same playing field as me progressed and became supervisors, and I felt some type of way. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, well, how they become supervisor and not me? And on that same day they announced it, I went to my director and I said, if you have another space, I would like to take that opportunity to take it. So with me being in my own head and doubting because of what I saw other people going through, I shut myself out. But now look at me flourishing. So it's gonna be me flourishing because the same way I'm seeing people skate on Instagram, that's gonna be me. I
Come
said
on,
this. I said this
claim
in
it.
season 4, but yeah, I'm gonna definitely put my skates on today and get some practice in because I forgot at the skate shop, the guy was showing me how to dip my head back, dip my head, and I was like, I feel like I'm dancing. So even though my skates were not on, I did run into somebody who actually teaches people how to skate. He's 70 years old, and he was like showing me some skills, and he was like, nope, you're doing it again, you're doing it wrong again, do it again. So there was some good that came out of me going to the skate shop to prepare for yesterday. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll send you a picture of me.
Nah, forget that. I want a video. Forget the picture. Picture don't mean nothing at this point. I want a video, and I need to see you doing something.
The shoulders.
That's how it be. You got to get your groove in. You got to feel it. I want a video. I do not want a picture.
Okay, I will send you a video with the same outfit on.
So like, then when I come with my skates, you can teach me what you learned. Period. Because I ain't put mine on either.
Right.
So yes, I'm so happy about this check-in. I'm happy about this episode. We might get into the feels. I don't know. Let's just see. Sometimes the season finale really be getting there. Sometimes the season finale be my favorite episode. So let me go ahead and give us the rundown, if that's okay with you, Miss Madame. Can I do it? Can I do the damn thing? Period.
Yes, you can.
On
you know the song, Can I Kick It? Yes, you can.
Yes,
can
you
can.
Kick it? Hey, yes, you can. Can I run it down? Yes, you can. All right. All right. So, in today's episode, season 5, episode 16, season finale. First off, in the icebreaker, we let loose with a question. We are going to be answering what is getting in the way of it. Oh, Lord. What is getting in the way of being exactly who we want to be? All right. I'm pretty sure some of y'all can relate to that. There's some things or someone keeping us from where we need to be, and we're going to talk about it. Then in Sweet 223, we're giving y'all something a little special, something we haven't done in a while, something we haven't done all season. We are giving y'all a duo poem, a LoveLoudd special, y'all. Yaya and I will both be spitting poetry in Sweet 223, then heading on over into the calf. Our hot topic is going to be about quarter life crisis, y'all. Yes, it is a thing. Yes, it does exist. And for our 25 and up, or maybe even 30 and up, y'all will be able to relate to this, even if you never knew what a quarter life crisis was. Not midlife. This is before that point. We're not there yet. We talk about the quarter life crisis. And then, of course, we're giving y'all lots of details. We're going to skip right on over the dorm story and head on over into the announcement segment, where there's going to be something for everyone for the last time in season 5. All right. Woo. So make sure y'all tune in all the way to the end for this wonderful finale. All right, girl. You ready to head on over to the icebreaker?
I am.
Period.
Yes, we
can. Let's get it.
All right, y'all. So for our icebreaker, we're responding to what is getting in the way of you being exactly who you want to be.
What's getting in the way?
Oh, what you feeling?
Yeah.
Me. The thing.
Oh, you want to start? Okay, I was like, I don't know what's happening. The pause.
The thing, the person is the reflection that I see in the mirror. Everything else is an excuse. So let's go back to the check-in. Me not skating is not because I didn't have the money to go to take the classes, because I had the money to buy anything else that I paid for that's probably way more expensive than the skating. It's not the fact that I was too exhausted or too tired, because I know that skating classes is every Saturday at 10 o'clock, and I can go to bed earlier the same way I can get up to record the podcast with you, the same way I can get up to go to work, the same way I can, so on and so forth. I can get up to, invest in myself. When it comes to, like I said, the work opportunities, job opportunities, I got in my way of self-doubt because of things that I've seen other people go through. And it's easy to say, oh, well, this person said these things, or this person said I wasn't enough, or this person didn't help me to do X, Y, and Z. But those people, they're just cock blocking. And why? Possibly they don't want to see you excel. Maybe they don't really believe that you can because they tried it before. But that says all it says about them, not me. So the only person that gets in my way of doing things is me. Also, perception too, based off of I guess society norms or even career norms. So the other thing too is I'm not licensed. I'm not a licensed therapist, and a lot of times I had shame of being not licensed. Um, but I realized, like before, like why I wasn't getting licensed because I felt like I don't need it. Then it changed to, do I really want to do this career or whatever? And now I'm at, where do I want to get licensed at? So, and this is the first time where in the last 2 weeks is I feel comfortable with not being licensed, because I'm still trying to figure out my next 3 years. Like forget 5 years, my next 3 years. What do I want that to look like? Do I want to be in a space where I'm like, dang, I gotta start over where I already put the work in because this is not where I want to be, or do I want to set myself up for a space where I am comfortable and I can give that time to it? So what stopped me was me comparing myself to other therapists, to other people in my cohort who went and got it, and I'm like the other thoughts of, well, I'm not where they are, I'm not done. But the other thought was, I'm not ready to be where they are, and what does it matter? Like my journey is my own journey. So the same thing too, looking at other skaters is like, oh well, she this and she that, but she's also getting up to go, she's also whatever, like, and I don't know, she might be the greatest skater, and she's like, oh, I want to be a great therapist. You never know what anybody else's battles or thoughts or grass really looks like, right? So in the way of my own journey of where I want to be throughout life, it's been me. And now I'm grateful for where I am in life. The bushes are chopped down. I can see past,
I
and
can see clearly now the rain is gone.
right. And then the same thing, who's responsible for my success is me. Yes, I'm grateful that I'm going to be receiving help from my trainer to learn how to skate. Yes, I'm grateful for excuse me, my director being open to signing off my hours so that I can get licensed. Yes, I'm grateful for, but it takes me, right? It takes like me scheduling with the trainer, when are we going to go skating? It takes, if he says he can't, can I still take the skills that he taught me and do it at home by myself? He doesn't have to always be there. It takes, yes, my trainer, my director is saying this, but I still have to be organized. I still have to make sure that, I'm studying and doing everything that I have to do. So even though there's different names, trainer, director, guitar teacher, like whatever I want to have encompassed, it's still I. That's the common thing, I. So that's me. And I'm going to stop now.
No, but hey, look, you holding yourself accountable, you able to recognize like where you are falling short, where you can be better, and where you see yourself growing, and that's what's most important. Like the fact that you're able to be like, no, Yaya, you know you can do this, and this is what's keeping you from getting there. As long as you can recognize that at the end of the day, and then making sure that you actually do the things that you say you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
there you go. You just gotta make sure you follow through, boo.
Right.
All right, so for me, one of the one of the main things, getting in the way for me is fear. It has always been fear on so many different levels. Being afraid of what is going to happen once I reach here. What are people going to think about me once I reach here? Who's going to judge me based off this thing that I want to do? Who, what, when, where, why? All of these just different thoughts in my head. A lot of the time they have to do with anxiety and me stressing over things that do not matter, should not matter, worrying about the future when all I need to worry about is the present. Fear is a real thing that could really keep you from where you want to be. And for me specifically, it has been detrimental to me getting to where I need to be. But I also believe that everything happens for a reason. I was fearful for a reason. I had to be in that space and realize for myself, like, no, this is not something you need to be afraid of. Whether it was something that I heard from a friend, from a mentor, from my parent, from a coworker. Fear is not something that I need to let set within me. Yes, it's okay to be nervous, because if you're not fearful of something that you're going for, you're not thinking big enough, right? Even when it came to like me knowing, I've always known when I'm in a space, I know when it's ready for me to move on. But I always had that fear of like, oh no, but like I'm leaving this thing to do this thing, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that got to get myself out of bed. I'm the one that's got to walk out of the door and get myself to where I need to be. So, not saying that I should have never been fearful, because in some cases, like, fear is okay, but I can't allow my fear to hold me back. I should be afraid when my dreams are big. So even with me being in this doctoral program, it took me a while to do it. I've been thinking about it for, Jesus, at 10 years at this point. Honestly, I've been thinking about getting my doctorate, and I finally just sat down and was like, this is what you want to do. You see where you want to be. This is the next step to do what you need to do. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get over that fear, as long as you get over it. At the end of the day, boom, you did it. Another thing that was getting in my way is discipline. There have been times where I've been very, very lazy and procrastinating on a lot of things that was getting in my way of doing something. Like back when I was in film school, and I just knew, like, oh, I'm gonna direct this, I'm gonna write that, I'm gonna do this, but I never really stuck to my schedule of like writing my scripts. I never stuck to my schedule of going to the gym. I never stuck to my schedule of doing what I needed to do and making excuses for myself, like, oh, I'll get it done later. It's always a matter of knowing what I'm making time for. And now I'm truly realizing now at this big old age what it truly means to make time for the things that I want. The fact that I'm able to work full time, teach after school. I recently adapted a book into a screenplay, and I've been on set, but I'm also in school to get my doctorate, and I'm making time to edit this podcast. Oh, it's time to do things. And then I'm also making time for myself, hanging out with my friends, going on dates. Like, it's a lot, but as long as you manage the time, it is possible. And then you also have to make sure that you're making the time for yourself in order to make sure that you don't overwhelm yourself or overwork yourself or burn yourself out. I'm learning a good balance of what I need to do in order to get all of these things done. It's going to be a lot. The expectation is, yes, I'm going to be tired. But now I understand what it is to be a good tired, you know? So fear and discipline are the main things that's getting in the way of exactly where I need to be. And I'm going to commit to no longer allow those things to hold me back, because
Yes.
my vision is so clear on where I want to be at this point. Like I said, it's all starting to make sense. The alignment is so heavy. It's just like, I'll be doing myself a disservice to not fully go for what I want. I just, come on, it's just, I got to do what I got to do to get to where I need to be. And discipline and fear is, hey, it might be there, but I'm not going to feed into my own BS to hold me back.
Yes. I love that. That's so relatable. Those are good keywords that you use, fear and discipline, because that can go along with what I was saying too. Like hearing other people's what they're saying, fear, it made me stay away, or not skating on the schedule, not going to the gym. Like I'm sitting here and I feel my gut hanging right now, and I'm like, that discipline wasn't there. Like I could talk all I want about not eating snacks on weekdays or not going to the gym when I'm supposed to, and it's the discipline, the lack of it. Because when I did have it and I was going to Orange Theory and Pilates, I was going because I'm like, dang, I paid for this class, I scheduled it, but I had something set in place so that I could have the discipline to go. I'm like, dang, I paid the money, I gotta go, they're gonna charge me. Same thing with the skating. When I was going, it was, I know I want to go, let me book it now because I know if it's booked, I'm gonna go. But now I'm not doing that. So yeah, I like those words because it's true.
It is true. And I'm sure y'all listening can relate. So please let us know, comment. What is something that's getting in the way of exactly where you need to be? What is it?
Where
Is,
I wanna
is it
be.
routine? Is it discipline? Is it fear? Is it any of the things that we named? And whatever it is, recognize it and tell it no more.
Tell
What
it
we hold ourselves back
sayonara.
for? Sayonara. Peace out. Bye bye.
Bonjour.
That's hello.
I thought bonjour was hello and goodbye.
Au revoir is goodbye.
Oh,
Hola,
adios.
not hola.
Adios.
Hawaiian. No, but it is
Aloha.
aloha. Thank you. I said hola. Aloha is hello and goodbye.
Um,
All right, and that brings us to the end of our wonderful icebreaker.
yes.
And now we're heading on over into sweet two, two, three. Hey y'all, welcome to Sweet 223, where you are going to get a special sweet treat from Love Loud LLC. Moni and Yaskis. We are going to be reciting a collab piece that we wrote called Conflicted. This is a little throwback piece from 2019. I believe this is
Wow.
in book 2, I think, if I remember correctly. Look, y'all, it's in one of my books.
I didn't even know it was released. Oh wow. Okay.
Right, like thinking 2019. Shit. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into it. It's been a minute since I've done this. Picked up a pen and remembered your lies line by line, like, baby, I promise this is my last time. Yet, here I am, and there you are, looking at me cry my eyes out, while you walk through the door as if we have nothing to talk about. And maybe we don't. So I figured I'd put it on paper, release it into the universe, so I could finally grab my purse and step out, free of the curse I felt inflicted with. I don't have to deal with this shit.
Restricting my mind from attempting to reminisce over times we shared. Times when you were oh so far, yet I wanted you near. To be here and to hear me out. Reframe my doubt. Reconstruct this pain to something of solidarity. But yet, I stand all alone in solitude, nude, because what I felt for us has been misconstrued.
My feelings have been delegated to never return. Assured that my decision is final, this trial has ended as I turn this corner to a new start, taking time to see if we're better apart. Full speed ahead with you in my rear view. My heart is locked away, knowing there's a chance I'll still miss you. But I'll wave goodbye anyway, prepared to be detached. I'd rather be alone, holding the key to my happiness.
It's been a minute since I've done this. Pulled up your contact in my phone and hit send on a draft, asking if we can start over as we discard our past, let go of our hurt and replenish our laughs, rebuild those frames that once floated upon our walls, cradling memories in you and I and you, trailing back to when you were my baby and I was your bookie boo. Inseparable. The two of us were, but we were known on the gram. But better in person, I your lady and you my man. The sand in our glass refuses to spill because you and I know what we had. Our love is real.
Feelings still there, but I love you from a distance.
I know we can make it past our turmoil and our bullshit.
No longer desired the bliss that existed.
For us, I will forget the hurt. I'm ready to risk it.
Allowing my mind to be free of your vengeance.
Opposed to an exit, let's make this our entrance.
Able to fly, a weight has been lifted.
Our love is unbreakable, yet conflicted.
It's all about me. My focus has shifted.
But with you, I'm better. If I let go, I'll miss it.
Poem.
Love
Period.
loud.
Yeah. Lego, Lego.
Oh, that's a really
Yes.
good poem. I wonder who wrote it.
Right. Oh my gosh, it was so damn good. Now I'm conflicted. Go the back and the forth.
The
The
fourth and the back.
message.
Back,
The fourth and the
back,
back.
fourth and
Fourth
fourth.
and fourth. Yes. Oh, let's get into it, baby. It's been a minute since we read anything together. I love
Yeah.
it. Let's go. You start.
So conflicted. It was purposely put that we should do this poem together. So Moni came up with her 16 bars or so, and then I mocked whatever she came up with. I don't remember what, like, did you finish and leave the spaces for me, or did you write a bar? I wrote a bar. You wrote a bar. I wrote a bar.
You know, I don't remember, but my heart is telling me that it was back and forth. Like I would write mine, then you would write yours. Because I think
Mm-hmm.
initially we knew the idea that we wanted to have with the poem, as far as what the theme of it would be. So
Mm-hmm.
I have one voice and you have another voice, which in turn made it conflicted thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite, I love the whole poem. I also love the ending, which was the hardest part for me because it's not like the ending, one person wrote it and then we said, okay, you're just going to do this line. No, we read exactly what we read is who wrote what part. So it was like, I got to rhyme with what she said. And I got to make sense with what she said because she, as you heard, she went first. So I had to match her. I had to match her energy. And I love it. Overall, it's a really great poem. Shout out to
I do
Love Loud.
too. Right, period. I love the ending as well. It's my favorite part, aside from like the combination of like having to rhyme it. It's the
Mm-hmm.
fact that we intentionally made it set like throughout the entire piece, but then like flowing line by line at the end. Y'all, let's wait till we perform this for y'all in person. Cause y'all
Yeah.
gonna be like, it's gonna be a totally different vibe. Y'all gonna be like, oh my gosh, they so fire, they so dope. Encore, encore. But
Love
yes,
Loud. Love
but
Loud.
yeah, the ending is my favorite as well. Like just the to add emphasis on being conflicted with the back and forth thoughts and how intentional we were about having that feeling. Because it's like, girl, you want to be with him or you don't? You want to move on or you
Right.
don't? You miss him or not? What's going on with you? But it's
Right.
so relatable. It's
It's
so
so
relatable.
real.
What do I want to do to move on? So I look forward to more collaborations. We have not done one in a while. Shoot, by the
Mm-hmm.
end of this, I might send you a little something I was working on. Be like, let me know what you think. Sit on this and then send it back to me, and then I'll add
Sit
something.
on
Oh
it.
my god! But yes, this was fun, 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 fun. I look forward to
Yes.
doing this more, especially performing together. That is something that is on our to-do list for
We
the
have
end
to
of the
do that
year.
before
Bef-
December 25th.
yeah.
Like,
So
seriously.
yes, before the end of the year, Yaya and I have a plan to be on stage together. So look out for that because it's gonna happen.
Yes. And is. Yay, that was
Nick,
fun.
right? So go ahead, lead us on over to the next segment, baby.
Our next segment is our hot topic segment. Where it's just me and Monie. This is a Love Loud episode, so get on ready for our hot topics segment.
Yay!
We're in the caf and at the box. That's what I get.
Wow,
But
you're gonna wait to the end of the season to try to make a
a
hot
jingle
topic intro, jingle, song, whatever.
and ruined it.
Unprepared. See what happens when you are unprepared. Come to the segment ready for what you need to do.
Woo.
Just lead us into what we taught the topic, ma'am. You got one job when you come into this topic. Lead us into it, okay?
Okay. We are now in our hot topic segment, which we also call the CAF, where Moni and I are going to talk about quarter life crisis. So take it away,
Not
Moni.
midlife. Not midlife. It's a difference. We ain't
Yes,
that
it's a
old.
difference.
So let's start with what? With what a quarter life crisis is. A quarter life crisis, according to the Newport Institute, because y'all know we do our research before we come up on here. We don't just be pulling stuff out of ass. All right,
Right.
so when young people, as they move deeper into adulthood, start to question their goals and second guess their career paths, they might feel stuck in their relationships, or they may be overcome with self doubt. Again, when young people, as they move deeper into adulthood, start to question their goals and second guess their career paths, they might feel stuck in their relationships, or they may be overcome with self doubt.
Yes. I wish I knew this was a thing when I was 25, 26,
Come
because,
on.
baby, did I experience that. It's so, like, weird, that transition, even before that, I think going from high school to college, like that age range situation, for me, I'll speak for myself, was smoother because I went from, it was an expectation for me to go from high school to college. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like weird, figuring it out, but it was smoother. Opposed to finishing grad school, which is kind of nearing that quarter life, grad school to no more school, right? What the hell am I doing? Even after
What am I
finishing
doing?
undergrad, I was like, what comes next? What am I supposed to be doing? I don't have a job. I don't have this. I'm living back at home. I like a bill. What is that? I'm crying because Sally Mae is asking me for over $1,500 a month, and I ain't even got $1 to give you.
Come
What
on.
am I supposed to do with myself? So it was just an odd transition to figure out. And friends too. I'm moving back to New Jersey from Georgia. My friends are dispersed throughout the United States. I'm coming back and trying to find out how to make friends again at this age. It was just so odd. I really didn't know what I was doing. Was trying to figure out who I was. Because I thought I knew who I was when I was in college. I was that girl. But now I'm back home and nobody really knows me like that anymore. They
Right.
knew who I was before I went to college, but they don't know me at this age. And I used to really feel like SHIT when I would wake up, like, again, before grad school, I would wake up 12:30 in the afternoon. My mom is off to work, everybody's brother's off to school, and I'm just sitting there with no job, feeling like a bum. And then I would Google jobs and call them, and they're like, "Oh, well, you have to be, you have to have a graduate degree. We'll take you as an intern. Intern means free work. I'm not calling you because I want to do free work. I'm calling you because I need a job. Like
Come on.
college undergrad wasn't enough, and it was just rough. It was really rough, which pushed me to apply and complete graduate school. And after that, luckily enough, I did have employment. But I remember, like, to everyone else, my field was green. It was shiny. I was doing the damn thing, but I didn't understand how much money I should be making. Like, what's a good salary to have? Where should I be? Like, I'm still living at home at this what it felt like a big age. Um, Still got bills, trying to figure that out. Like everything, like I'm making this money, but I can't really spend none. My brother's telling me I should be asking for at least $75,000, and they laughing like, "You chose social services, like you are in the social work field. You cannot make that. Like, who do you think you are? You ain't no this and that. You straight out of college." I'm like, ugh. I didn't know that there was a label for it, but I was
Right.
definitely going through a crisis in a little rinky dink car. Uh, it was just
Come
a
on,
lot.
talk about it.
Trying to
Yeah.
trying to put on for society, like I was happy and knowing who I was and everything like that. But baby, if I knew what I know now, I would have been just content where I was and knowing it was okay to not have all my pieces together, my puzzles together.
Absolutely, because it's definitely a lot of pressure that comes with after going to college. You need to be getting a job, and then you do this, and then you do that, and then like living in this pattern of like what life is supposed to be like, opposed to sitting in like what life is in the present.
Yes.
So I think we should also keep in mind, like as far as what a midlife crisis looks like, the age range is from mid-20s to early 30s. So just I'm thinking like twenty
I'm
five
still in the
to
group. I'm still in the age group.
right, we still in there. We still in there, right?
Yeah.
Mid-20s. So the first thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking this mid quarter life crisis era that I was in, it was me thinking that life was sweet. Like before I left Clark Atlanta, I was researching jobs, I was having interviews, and I had a job before I graduated. So by the time I went home, I was set. I had a job. Um, Luckily, I was well networked with people that I went to high school with. So one person was able to help me transition into another job. And then by after that job, I worked in the summer and I decided, hey, my break has been long enough. I've worked. Now it's time for me to go back to grad school. So by the time I went to grad school, I'm in school, I'm meeting friends. Life still feels good. But by
Yeah.
the time I finished grad school, by the time I hit 25, that's when life was really like, so what you really about to do?
Mm-hmm.
Life was sweet. You had people to help you, people to guide you. You had some like as far as like finding my first place, I had help moving down. As far as me getting one job to the next one, being able to call somebody like, hey, I need a recommendation. I had to realize that it was a lot of people that was assisting me along the way, and I never really knew what life felt like doing anything by myself. I hadn't
Mm.
got to that point yet. I hadn't got to the point yet where um I was solely like working and having to pay rent. I was in school by the time I had my first apartment, so I was using part of my refund to help me pay for my rent. Rent was set months in advance. I wasn't stressing about that. But once
Yeah.
grad school was over and I didn't have that extra change and I had to finally start finding a job, baby, life got real rough. I will never forget when I couldn't pay my rent for the first time. And I had to figure out where I was going to get a job. What was I going to do? Because in my mind, I'm done with grad school. It's time for me to start making film. I'm about to be Spike Lee up out here. Like I'm supposed to be directing and writing movies. But one thing I did realize about the film industry is that I always have to have something lined up in order to make money. So it's not a matter of like I wasn't living this life of where I'm going to get a job and have my salary, work my 9 to 5, come home. No, I was choosing to live a life of like a creative struggle. I was in LA, doing little jobs here and there, working part time so that I can really live out my dream of being a director writer. But also having to realize at the same time I need income. Like me just working part time wasn't enough. So life was not sweet. Life was not sweet. When I really had to break down working 2 part-time jobs as well as driving Lyft and Uber, that's when I realized like, oh my gosh, life is really kicking my ass.
Yeah.
And I really have to figure out how to do it on my own. I can't keep calling my mom, can't keep calling my dad, can't keep calling my nana. Can I borrow money to pay my cable bill? Can I borrow this much money? I'm gonna pay you back to help me pay my rent. It got to a point where I was using my credit card to get the money to pay my rent. It got to a point where I was too proud. I didn't want to have to call home. I'm down here. I'm an adult. I should be able to do this on my own. I can't keep calling it to figure out how I'm paying my rent. My family, they got bills and things on their own that they have to deal with as well. Got kicked off the insurance. Now I got to figure out, I don't have no insurance. I had to pay for my own braces. I decided mid-20s now I'm going to get braces. I had to pay for my own braces, my own car insurance. Every time my car broke down, I had to pay for that. Like keeping up the maintenance on my car, getting it checked, especially since I was driving Uber and Lyft, having to do my taxes. Woo, come on, the list is just getting started. So, yeah,
so
by the
many
time
responsibilities.
So many responsibilities that I felt like hit me all at one time. A lot of responsibilities that I felt hit me at one time. But my main thing was making sure that I was able to keep a roof over my head and not have to call home. Which bill am I going to pay first and which one can I push off without having to call home and ask for assistance?
The crazy thing with that is I don't know my mom's full story, right? But I know one thing from my mom and people her age is probably my grandparents too, robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what it sounds like they did. They did the same thing. I've never yet had to experience that because I think what I went through was the opposite. But from what you said in the check-in or the icebreaker, fear that I've had in my head for the last 2.5 years maybe was me being a little chicklet, like a bird in a nest. So for my story, when I graduated Clark Atlanta, my idea was to stay down in Georgia, hoping that I could stay in the relationship that I was in, get a house there, like have the good life, right? My mom called me, you ain't find nothing yet, talking about school. You bring your little butt home. So my mom reeled me in. She threw out the whatever pole, fishing pole.
Line.
Yeah, fishing line, no bait, no nothing. It was just you bring your butt home.
Hooked your ass
reel me in. Yeah, like you ain't about to be out there doing nothing, right? So mine was like internal feeling like a failure. Internally feeling like beating down myself. But my mom always gave me things inch by inch. So in college, I was scared to have a credit card. And then I kept getting this mail. And I was like, Mom, I keep getting this mail. I was ready to throw it out. And she was like, no, you want to get a credit card because XYZ. You want to build up your credit, whatever the case may be. So, okay, I took on a credit card. Then I got my car, which my family helped me to get my first car. And my mom paid off my no, actually it was my cell phone first. I kept getting tired of T-Mobile. No, sorry T-Mobile if you're listening. But for me, my service in my bedroom was so poor. So my mom was like, well, you want to switch, you take on the bill yourself. And I was so scared, but I'm just like, okay, well, I just do it, whatever, because I'm really tired of not being able to do it or have service. So I took on that bill. Then it was my mom gave me a car. It became wonky. I got tired of every other month taking it to the shop, paying all this money. So now it's like, okay, I know I had to take care of the car bill, right? But I didn't know I had to take care of that insurance. And it was like, nope, you got the car in your name. You can't be under your mom anymore. So I got kicked off that insurance, then my health insurance. Then it's just like slowly but surely these things racking up, except for home expenses. And where it gets to the bird in the nest is I was in my 20s and now 30 and living at home, and just still societal norms of when you turn 18, you fly away, you get out of the coop and everything. And I'm like, why am I so afraid to fail? I'm afraid that once I start to flap my wings, that when I try to leave the nest, I'm going to fail. And if I was able to, like, the way I got to where I am now, which is like my home, is I had to look at myself and say, first of all, if these other people in my same age group, in my same salary bracket, in my same, like, these things, if they can do it, mind you, I don't know everything that's going on with everyone else, but if they can do it, why can't I? And my mom did it. Other people did it. You know, if I fail, I'm sure my family's going to be, there to help me if I really need it. But then also too, I have to shut that voice out inside. And I know that I'm financially sane and I'm not irresponsible, so why can't I? But that fear, that voice of fear is so loud, and it can hinder us from being able to accomplish a lot of things.
Absolutely. Like I can attest to being in LA, and my main thing was my dream, my dream, my dream. Like this is my dream. This is what I always wanted to do. This is what it's meant for me to do. Like if I need to struggle to get to where I need to be, then this must be a part of the section of my life where, I'm really a starving artist. Like this is just what I'm supposed to go through. I'm supposed to try to figure it out. And yo, I will never, ever, ever in my life forget what I really felt like. My life is over. I'm a
Mm.
failure. I really, really messed up. It was like several things just kept happening back to back to back to back, and I felt like I was losing myself. So the first thing that happened was driving Lyft and Uber to help me make ends meet because my job wasn't solely doing it. Actually, let me take a step back. First thing was I wasn't making enough to pay my rent. So I got kicked out of one apartment, ended up having to find another place. By the grace of God, I found another place and I found a job. So I was like, oh my gosh, life is sweet. I'm like, yes, this was meant to happen. I had to learn that, God's always looking out for you. You don't know how you was gonna make it through, but
Right.
that didn't go. That apartment you getting kicked out of that didn't go out and go on your record. You found another spot down the street. You got a job. You good, and you still got your car. You can drive Uber and Lyft. I was like, yes. Then, so I was working at Starbucks. I worked at Starbucks for a week, and I got a call for a job that I really, really wanted as a production assistant. I was like, oh my gosh, I get to quit this job. Yes, life is looking good. Still had to drive Lyft part time, but it was great because I was like, oh my gosh, like life is really moving for me. Had that job for about a year and some change, almost 2 years. Um, Lost my car, couldn't drive Uber and Lyft, lost my job, they laid me off. I had to sign up for unemployment. Wasn't enough to pay my rent. I had to start going to the food bank to get my food because I didn't have enough money for groceries. I had to basically trying to figure out what I was going to do until it got to a point. How can I forget? And my nana passed away. So it was like all of these things back to back to back to back till it got to a point where I'm like, I can't live here no more. I literally cannot stay in LA trying to struggle to pay my rent. I don't want to get kicked out of another apartment. I may not be blessed enough. I don't want to go back to court. I may not be blessed enough this time for them to not put it on my record. So I had to break down and to figure out what I was going to do. And I had a couple of friends come over, help me pack up my place, packed everything up in the U-Haul, and I drove by myself from LA all the way back to Oakland.
Oh
I
my
think that
gosh.
was the biggest realization in my life, riding for those hours in that U-Haul by myself with my stuff in the back. thinking I was a complete failure in life. Because even before then, before I even packed up my stuff, I was like, okay, there's still hope. Like, I literally was taking weekends to drive from LA up to Oakland just so I can have interviews. Because I'm like, if I'm gonna move back home, I need to have a job.
Yeah.
Thinking I was gonna have, I couldn't even align a job before I moved back to Oakland, and I hit the end of where my mark of where it was like, you got to be out. And I had like my biggest reflection moment. I think I cried all the way during that drive from LA all the way to Oakland for 8 hours, just driving that U-Haul truck, just thinking about what could I have done differently, what went wrong, why is this happening to me, like why are all of these things happening back to back to me like this. But in the end, dang, it was, mind you, there's some other things that happened. I had a friend pass away.
Mm.
um it was
The
just
one
a
you went to
lot.
school with?
Well, a friend of mine that I had went to high school with, she had passed
Mm-hmm.
away also during that time, right after I had just moved back. Um, so I was dealing with a lot. It was heavy. I had just got back into therapy, thank God.
Yeah.
And I had to realize right after that. So I did get a job, thankfully. I did get a job. I was working 2 jobs, teaching. I was like, I started after college, I started out teaching somehow, some way. I go back to Oakland. Again, I'm back in Oakland. Reflection. I'm back to teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see myself being a teacher, but I literally fell into it. It was something about alignment. I keep coming back to teaching. Even I don't see this as my dream. This is nothing I ever thought to do, but it's something that I'm easily able to transition into. Went back into teaching. But I was teaching film.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me get through it. But then also the pandemic happened right after that. And now looking back on it, everything that happened to me in LA was a blessing in disguise, because during the pandemic, I was able to be closer to my baby sister, see her, through her last year of high school, spend more time with my dad, being able to see my family. There was just a lot that happened during that time that I'm grateful to have had my family close, opposed to me still being in LA, not being able to move, being by myself. I was already depressed, super anxiety was super high with everything that I was
Mm-hmm.
going through. So I had the pandemic on top of that and me be by myself. I don't know what would have happened to me. Right. So in hindsight, in the end, I was very, very grateful for the experience that I was able to have with that, move back home, reflect for a year. And then in the end, I mean, to make a long story short, I ended up here doing what I'm doing. But I was like, that point in my life in LA where I had to figure out that U-Haul truck, that U-Haul truck. Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
That drive will forever be embedded in my brain.
As it should, because look at you now. Like the things that you said during the check-in of where you are, feeling defeated or feeling like, not ready to start this doctoral program, but you're in it now. You're employed now. You have stability where you're home now. I don't know if you've been going to a food bank, but I know you go out to eat. I think you're good, right? So, that Monie that drove that U-Haul 8 hours, Oakland from LA to Oakland, and that Monie before going to court, crying on the phone with me, talking with family, all the things you've grown from that, you've learned from it, and you won't go back to that. Yeah,
No,
you're
ma'am.
good. I'm not crying. My eyes just itching, honestly.
I was about to say, because I'm like, don't do that.
Right. Um, while you're talking, I was wondering where were those people for anybody in life that normalized uh, where people are now, because I always think about the imagery of the kid going off to college and the family being happy, and then when they come back and they got that bag with the words in it that says uh, student loans, like all no job, this, that, like all the things that we come back, and then the parents are like, "Why are you at the door?" Because I'm coming back with all this stuff. I can't do it on my own. So we're the people that saying times change. We're not in a space anymore where once you become of age, you get out of the house, you go work a job, and you live on your own, right? Mind you, some people choose that path, and that's fine. But for the people who don't choose that path and you're still a child. Like, I was still a child when I was 24. I was still a child when I was 18. I was still, I needed my parents to be there. I needed my community. I needed my friends to let me know that this is okay. I had my mom saying that, but I also had society not saying it to me, but seeing my friends have their own apartments, or maybe it wasn't their own, but it was somebody that their age range or group that they were splitting the bill with. I didn't see that as I'm splitting the bill with my mom. Like, I'm still paying something at my mom's house to live there, so I'm technically rooming, right? Or my friends are doing it, but I still saw it as my friends still have their own kind of thing. Um, my mom, like, she kept telling me it's okay, you don't have to, there's no rush, blah blah blah. But I'm still like, but I see my friends have this, or what do they really think about me? And it's, again, that inner voice that's saying I don't have what I need to have at this age. I'm not good enough, even though I got money in the bank. I got more money in the bank than I owe to my credit card. That's a blessing to be able to have that. Not a lot of people can say that, and I do give onus to my mom, because if she didn't reel me back in and say I had to come home, where would I have been? I'm sure she would have helped me. I would have, my learning experience would have been way different than it is now. But it's just, we're talking on two different terms here, where you went straight from school and just took it on your, went running, right? But at some point you ran back home to gather yourself back up together. And then some years ago, I forget how many years we're celebrating of you being in Brooklyn, that you're walking on, yeah, you're walking on your own 2 feet. Meanwhile, I took time to go through grad school, stay at home, save money. Right now, I'm not like where I want to be, right? But okay, let me take a pit stop. Let me stop somewhere else and then still go towards that thing that I want. So outside of my mom, I want to be that voice. I don't have a child right now, but I want to be that voice for people who may be listening, or maybe my god sisters later on, talking after they finish college and high school and things like that. That I could tell them, you may see this in life, you may feel these things in life, but don't let anything deter you from going after what you want. Appreciate your parents for the things that they're giving you. Don't feel like you're less than because you don't have the fancy car or the fanciest anythings. Because we don't know what's going on with other people who are always on trips, how much sex they're giving out, how much, they gotta act like they're happy to be with anybody just to get their bills paid, like, that's some people's stories. I'm not making that up. So yeah, just don't compare yourself to others, because they're not your competition. The only person that's your competition is the person that you're reflecting in the mirror.
Come
Even if
on.
you work at the same job, at the same title, same salary, that person still is not your competition, because you can only work as hard as you want to work. You can only accomplish what you want to accomplish. Even if they, like, you going for a higher position to become the director, and that other person gets that position, there's still other spots. Maybe not at that company, maybe at that company. Like, for example, my job, someone is already the director. So from the inside, it looks like there's no room for growth. But lo and behold, another program in the same agency needed a director, and they took that person and pushed them up to that. You never know. So I'm saying a lot right now, but it all goes into the quarter life crisis, because you mentioned some things too, right, Moni? Like, I mentioned self doubt. You mentioned death of loved ones and friends. Um, Losing jobs, instability with food and cars, and losing out on being under. I mean, we were blessed for the president to push it to 27. Was it 27? I think, for us to be under our parents' insurance. Yeah, I think it was like 25 or 27.
I missed that window.
No, you didn't, because we're the
Yes, I
same
did.
age. They pushed it to 27, where we're still able to be under our parents' insurance. Anxiety, depression, we talked about those things too, which can kick in if you don't really know who you are, know where you're
Yeah.
going. Some people are fortunate enough to have mentors in their life, especially mentors that's on the same career path, to help guide them. But even with that, you can become anxious. You can become depressed because, am I as good as my mentor? or are those opportunities that my mentor had still striking for me? So it's a lot that comes with someone being in a quarter life crisis and feeling like I'm not worthy.
Absolutely, because we all live different lives and we all go through different things and have different experiences. So what looks like a quarter life crisis in one person's life may not look the same in somebody else's. Whether you are financially set up by your family or you got to figure it all out on your own, your quarter life crisis is going to look completely different from the next person. So, with that being said, let's talk about there's two types. There's two types of quarter life crisis.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is being locked in, and that's feeling obligated to stay in a role despite feeling dissatisfied. And the second one is locked out, which is not being able to reach a desired goal, like not finding employment after graduating college. I feel like I identify more with my being a locked out midlife crisis, because I've never felt obligated to stay anywhere. Because when it was time for me to go, baby, I was out. I never felt like I needed to stay anywhere because I always knew what my goal was. Like I had a job at a shoe store once, and I wanted to take a day off. Baby told me like, you haven't made your 30-day 90-day whatever yet, and
Probation.
I was like, thank you. You ain't met your 90-day probation yet. Bet I'm out. I'm gonna go see Drake. She wouldn't let me, and mind you, I didn't tell her why I needed the day off, but she felt like I needed to give her a reason, let her know what my obligations were. Baby, that's none of your business.
Yeah.
But I knew well enough then that I didn't need to give her that information. I wanted to go see Drake. So I quit that job to go see Drake, but I was blessed in the end to have a job as an assistant director. They needed some help. That was extra money in my pocket. So I ended up not seeing Drake anyway. But point is,
the better opportunity though.
Better opportunity. Point is, I still miss Drake. But I identify more with being locked out, because as I said before, it was all about my dream. I want to make movies. I want to change lives with the stories that I'm telling. But hey, it didn't work out the way that I foresaw in my head, but I don't feel like I'm far off from still having that dream. That's which one do you think?
I'm locked in, they won't let me out. It relates to what I said about the bird. I now hearing that I'm a person that I like my safety net. I don't want to fall. Like going back to skating, right? Why I didn't go to those classes because I was scared that I was not going to be up with everyone else. I was scared that I'm going to be falling and tripping because I'm not doing the spins right. As when it comes to work, right? Like feeling obligated to stay in a role despite feeling dissatisfied. I stayed in my pretty much beginning role, even though my salary was increasing because, the salaries increase every year by like 1 point something percent. But, I felt content. And while everyone else saw more from me, the director, the senior director, the people that was on the same playing field as me said, you should be supervisor. I was like, I'm safe here. I'm in the union. I know what I'm doing. I'm good. I want to stay locked into this position until I got jealous. I got jealous when I saw the new girl come in. Mind you, she has more experience. She's older, all these things. She's licensed, everything like that. When I saw her step up and become a a supervisor. And then I saw someone else become a supervisor. I'm like, if they could do it, I could do it. That's how I am with everything. If they could do it, I could do it. As far as painting, like these people posting their paintings, I'm going to take a painting class because I think I could do it too. Even though I felt like not the happiest with that role that I had and I wanted to climb higher, I just stayed. And then I stayed locked in until I felt pushed out. And then now I feel locked in. Like the door is open, I'm like peeking out a little bit right now because now I see the age. I still am in this midlife crisis area because I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to plan my step. I'm not a person who I want to jump without knowing where I'm jumping to. I have to plan my next markers, right? So am I going here, here, here? Like where am I going? Do I want to make sure that I can learn how to specifically? I'm going to talk with therapy. You have consultants that help you make sure that you're using the model correctly. So there's different models that you can use in therapy. There's not one type of therapist for mental health that you can have. And with me being a supervisor, I'm learning how to consult my team. I want to become a consultant so that I can
Come on,
consult
consultant, you will.
different teams, right? I also want to become a director. Like, there's so many things that I want to do, but I want to be licensed too. In order to become a director, I have to be licensed. And the different things that I want to do, because there's other things too, they all conflict. I also want to put my artwork, take them out of the storage, and push my art. I did email. Oh, I should have said this in check in. I did email people regarding how do I get into the art community. So my next email needs to be to somebody at the Newark Museum, because I
Come on.
went through different channels to figure out who is this person that I need to communicate with. And if this is not the person, hopefully that's a step towards the person I need to communicate with. But now it's like, how do I navigate the poetry life, the art, the visual art life, and working that's in a whole different state than this is when they have events that during the hours that I'm commuting, it's just like,
Yeah.
So right now that's keeping me locked in, but I'm trying to, exactly, that's how I feel like, I'm locked in, but I'm peeking out, trying to plan
Come on.
where I'm going to go. Do the Lil Kim dance with your hands up.
Right.
um, to plan my next step so that I'm not locked in and uncomfortable, because I don't want to be dissatisfied.
Yes, absolutely. So, with that being said, recognizing whether we are locked in or locked out, we are going to discuss some signs and some symptoms to help you realize if you in that midlife quarter crisis, not midlife, quarter life crisis. Right, we not there yet. We not there yet. Quarter life crisis. We not mid. Lord, I keep messing it up. All right, so here are a few triggers for you to recognize if you are in this section of your life. Job dissatisfaction, experiencing job loss, relationship issues, financial problems, rent, student loans, bills, okay? Social pressures and expectations, new responsibilities, having to balance out that new life you got going. And I'm pretty sure all of the things on this list were all mentioned. Matter of fact, I feel like all of these happened to me at the same time.
Not at the same time.
Same damn time. Now that I'm thinking about it, and once I finally had to pack up all my stuff, literally all that stuff happened at the same time. Lost my job. Well, it wasn't no relationship issues, but I did have a really bad relationship situation that kept me from wanting to even date no more. It was just like, forget that. But yeah, I feel like all of this stuff was piling, and it all happened at the same time.
Yeah, mine was job dissatisfaction, school. Sally Mae had me begging for a job and staying locked in a job where they weren't even paying me what they should have been paying me. But just staying locked in that because I wanted to have a job that was in my field and be able to pay something to Sally Mae, who was making me cry. Like, it was several times that I cried at my desk because I'm like, you're asking me for more than I make. How am I supposed to eat anything when you're asking me for this much money? Social pressure and expectations, for sure, of like what I mentioned before already, of people living and having $1,000 for play money to put into different stocks and all this other stuff, and 1,000 is my bill money. How can I play with it? I can't play with it. New responsibilities is just the new bills that I'm taking on. Yeah, I dealt with all of it, and it was just really hard. After college, if you went to college with me, if you knew me, I had a relationship, and a lot of times you go to college, you think that's going to be your marker, like that's going to be your forever partner, and it just so happened that the it's over period was while I was in grad school studying marriage and family therapy, and that was hard itself. Like, I'm studying about couples. I could never get away from couple stuff, like, because I'm studying couples and I'm dealing with my own breakup. So that relationship issue for me was a thing when I was going through this. Thank God. I mean, I don't have quote unquote relationship issues now because we're still in this period. Because I don't like have boyfriend drama or issues or anything. It's the thinking that I will be somebody's wife or fiance by this age.
Come on.
And have
I was just about to say that.
At this age, and I'm not even a girlfriend. I bring it up that way because it's been a meme floating around Instagram. But like, yeah, I definitely thought I was gonna be a wife with my not a picket fence, but a nice house and my man, and our kids and everything going on. And I'm single. More singular than a dollar bill. So that will be my quote unquote relationship issue, and that's a societal pressure as well because it's okay. Get yourself together, focus on work, focus on your education. A man is gonna come. At the same time, I'm I have this limit for myself by a certain age. After a certain age, if I don't have the kids, that's it. I'm hanging it up because then at that point we need to be thinking about maybe surrogacy because the age, the death rate, the complications, all that shit that could come with trying to have a baby at a certain age. I already fear pregnancy, so that's a bigger issue that goes along with that relationship issue that may become a midlife crisis for me. God,
Hey,
baby.
maybe we'll be around long enough to talk about midlife crisis.
Oh my God, just a
Oh, keep it
thought.
going. Yo. Oh. Anywho, so now that we know the types, we either locked in or locked out, we can recognize the signs and symptoms. How are we going to get through it? How are we going to cope? Make it out the slums. How are we going to make sure that we are progressing and pressing forward? Because even before I go through those, I do want to say real quick, like just even recognizing like where we were at that time and what we were going through, we were still able to produce Love Loud. We still
Mm,
have this. Like, regardless of the things of what we were going through, it did not stop us and has not stopped us from having our baby, our Love
hmm.
Loud baby,
We got
right?
twins. We got triplets. Mm,
Still progressing and moving forward despite anything that we have gone through. We have not allowed anything to stop us. It might have put us on pause for a second, but it has yet to become something our lives outside of Love Loud has not determined
hmm.
a complete halt, stop on what we are doing. And that I must say, come on, shout out to us, especially after
Yeah,
explaining the things that we've been going through. Come on, y'all still was able to push a business out
yeah.
and still progressing forward with a podcast. Period. All right, so how to cope. Here are a few things on this list. Self-reflection, letting go of expectations. Avoid comparing yourself to others. Give yourself permission to be indecisive and to change. Let me run it back. How to cope. Self
Hmm.
reflection. Letting go of expectations. Avoid comparing yourself to others. Give yourself permission to be indecisive and to change. I hope the people in the back heard me because I
Yeah.
might feel like I might need to run it back again.
I wish I heard these. I mean, I appreciate hearing them today. Um, I needed to hear this before because all of these, I was trying to say, okay, which one is harder? They were all hard. Some of them are more easier now than
Yeah.
before because the Libra in me is very indecisive to this day. Even when it comes to which shoes I'm going to wear with my outfit or what time I want to eat dinner, very
Mm-hmm.
indecisive. It's very hard comparing myself to others. I still do that sometimes, especially when it comes to like love interest. Like I may compare myself to other women, even though that may not be his type or his interest. Like, oh dang, my stomach isn't as flat as hers, or my butt isn't as fat as that, or whatever. Letting go of expectations. How much money? I thought I was fine. Like how much money I had until I overheard a conversation. Somebody at my job saying, "Oh yeah, when my sister needs $20,000, who you think she called? Me." Mind you,
When she need how much? When she need
20,000.
20,000?
Mind you, I don't know if they got a what's it called? Like what? She not African, but like when some families have that pot that they share around.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
can't think of the name right now, but I know you're talking about.
yeah. Like some families have that, so they may have that. She could have took a pension loan, whatever. I don't know, but she's also older than me. I think she's like in her 50s or something, this person. So when I did find that day when I heard it, it kind of like put me down like, dang, I thought I was somewhere with my money, but you could let somebody borrow 20,000. Yeah, I'm not there. But she could have been making that number up too. We don't know. So yeah, comparing myself to others in that part, and then letting go of expectations of that's been easier. Like trying to not put myself down based off of expectations of others or myself, but I still find myself there. And then self reflection we talked about before. My coping mechanism of recording, voice recording on my phone. I've not yet listened back to any of them. I hope nobody ever finds my phone, the password, and can hear them because you might hear something about yourself. But it's more so like reflecting on how I feel about situations that happen because sometimes I don't want to call a friend. Maybe they may be sleeping, or maybe I feel like they may have their judgment of it and I don't want to share it with anybody yet. So that's my self space, either talking to myself in the mirror, like Issa Rae, or recording myself on my phone. So yeah, I still find myself struggling with these things, but also using them. So when I do use them and I can like crack at it, then I'm fine. But it's not easy. It takes work.
It definitely takes work. And I think the main thing for me that has taken me a lot of work, but I'm proud of myself, is my self reflection. Because there's a lot of situations where I would have acted one way or said one thing or not thought about what I wanted to say before I decided to approach someone. And I would have been deemed as, oh, Simone's rude, Simone's mean. The Simone today, she takes time to reflect before she decides to respond to you. And a lot of people in my life can attest. They're like, why are you not doing this? And why are you not
I
doing
can
it that way?
attest. I'm one of those
Because I'd be
persons.
like, it's because of how I see myself now, where I see myself growing, and where I've grown from. Some of the energy that I would used to give out, I don't want to dish it no more. I just feel like the way that I have matured over many years, I just don't. The way that I have self reflected and decided for myself, this is how I want to act in certain situations. These are the things that I want to think about before I bring up a certain conversation. These are the things that I want to consider just for myself. And it works for me, especially since I've started meditating and I've done more journaling and I've just taken time to really sit with my thoughts. It works for me. But there's a lot of people in my life that would prefer sometimes that I, you know, but I'm proud that that's not the me no more, because I also think about with the things that I have to lose and the things that I'm going towards, and realizing how the way that I respond, how would that, what would be the end result of that? How do I want this situation to actually end or
hmm
play itself out? So self reflection is a really, really big thing for me, and I preach it all the time. But everything ain't for everybody. And
hmm
maybe one day, somebody might really push me to the edge and push me out of my character, and I may really have to. But we gonna see. We gonna see, because she still be in there. Trust me, she is there. She there. She still lives within me. She be ready to pop off.
Okay, Lion King. Is that Lion King? It lives in me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing too, as far as like giving myself permission to be indecisive and to change, everybody knows Simone gonna move somewhere. Simone gonna be up and out. She will uproot and start brand new or leave a job. And I've come to give myself grace for the things that I decide to do, especially if it aligns with where I want to go.
Mhm.
Granted, I am starting trying to figure out like, where do I want to settle? I can't keep bouncing and moving around, but now that I have the time to do it, it's the best time for me to do it. As far as like I'm grateful to be able to move and explore different cities and seeing how my life plays out, being able to experience these different parts of me in these different places. But eventually, I'm going to have to, whoever he may be, wherever he at, I'm gonna have to settle down at some point. I don't
Mhm.
know where that is. I don't foresee when that's going to take place, and I'm okay with that, because, like I said, the old me ain't this me. And just like you, I had it set I was going to be married by this time, have kids by this time, doing XYZ by this time. But seeing where I am, I'm glad that those things didn't play out in that way, because that wasn't the timeline meant for me.
Mhm.
So I'm able to sit in where I am and be grateful for the experience that I have and the road that I did have to take in order for me to be where I am and do the things that I'm able to do. So I don't have many expectations of myself other than growing and learning and becoming better, taking the experiences that I go through that may want me to be down on myself or may want to have me compare myself to other people. And at the end of the day, as you said, in the mirror, that's the only person I need to compare myself to and be better than the person that I was yesterday.
Mhm.
So with that being said, I'm like very, very, very grateful for the person I have grown into. Um, and am grateful for the road that I see ahead, that I'm able to foresee in better alignment of everything that I've gone through. Like, okay, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be lovely. So then when I get to my midlife crisis, I've hopefully by then I've been able to better navigate some things, because I mean by then midlife crisis, that's kids and probably transitioning from different one job to
Hopefully.
another one, or position to another. You know what I'm saying? There's just like different things at different points in your life. People having to take care of their parents and things of that nature that also come into play, but at a certain point in your life, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm
Ooh.
grateful for the transition. I feel like I'm transitioning out of my quarter life crisis. I don't feel like I'm at a point where I'm too worried about certain things. It's just a matter of like, now I just need to get through this chapter. It's not a matter of like me feeling like I'm stuck or I'm not doing the things that I'm meant to be doing. I'm definitely in it. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. I feel my purpose, and I feel like I'm transitioning out of this era of like, oh my God, where's my life going? I
Yeah.
know where it's going.
For me, it's I don't know exactly where it's going, but I feel happy riding in this canoe and going where the wind blows me. Wherever I go, I'm learning. I'm taking from things, and I'm not beating myself up as much. I do beat myself up, but I call my friends, call my parents, and I seek their wisdom, or I just take their ears and use them for that moment. Thank you for the Kleenex, wipe my eyes, and I keep it pushing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not beating myself up as much as I did before. I know exactly, like, career wise, what the end goal for me, because with my career, there's so many paths that can be taken, and I know, like I said, I know I want to do things, but I know when I get there, I'm going to be looking for what's next. Because the same thing with money. I'm like, oh, I want to have $5,000 in my bank account. As soon as that 5,000 hit, I now I want 10. Like it's always greater,
Yeah.
to have, or like, oh, I'm saying right now I want to have at least one kid. God willing, when I get that one kid, I might say, all right, I could do four. So
Yeah.
I never really know, but I have an idea, if that makes sense, of where
Mm-hmm.
I want to be.
Absolutely. And for those of you that are listening, I just want to say, like, whether you find yourself in the middle of your midlife crisis or just realizing, oh snap, this is I keep saying midlife, quarter life
Quarter,
crisis, midlife,
Mhm.
quarter or mid. We don't whatever age range you in listening to this episode. Remember
Mhm.
to give yourself grace through
Or
it all. You have to
pre
remember to
life,
give yourself grace. Right.
pre quarter,
Remember to give yourself grace through the
10 cent.
journey. Every day is not going to be easy. But at the end of the day, it is you that is going to push yourself forward. It's the only person that's can hold you back is you. So you're struggling, you're trying to figure it out. That is okay. Give yourself grace in that process. You know, we all go through things. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's journey is different. So I think top of the list is to give yourself grace in the process of figuring out exactly what you want to do, where you want to go, and how you're going to do. Make
Mhm.
that plan, baby. Figure out how you're going to step one step at a time. Whether it's
Yep.
baby steps, where you got to crawl first, whatever that is, give yourself grace, make the plan, and see it through.
Yep.
And don't be uh disappointing when your plan doesn't work out the way that you foresaw it to be.
Mhm.
Because just because you have a plan doesn't mean your end goal won't be the same, but your path, your route there may be different. So you have to
Yep.
give yourself grace with that too. Because keep your eye on the prize, but be open to taking another road to get there.
Mhm. Thank you for this content, girl.
You know me, I be coming up with that ish.
Oh my gosh. Girl, so don't be disappointed if my light goes out, because my battery on my laptop is about to die. I had to unplug that light to plug up my laptop.
Hey, we coming to a close anyway. And with that being said, unless there's something you want to add, because I'm about to transition us to the next segment. You got something for the people?
God bless. Stay sexy. Keep it cute.
Oh my God.
Don't beat yourself up. You don't want to be old and bruised up, right? So, yeah, give yourself grace. Stop comparing yourself to others. Have a friend or a family member that you can confide in to talk about things, that is genuinely a friend, that is genuinely, hearing you out, listening to you, and reminding you that wherever you are in life, you're okay, and that you can journey,
Yes.
and push through. Not somebody that's just
Yes.
gonna sit and nag with you. Find somebody that's gonna not nag, and that you can do the same thing too. Reciprocity is key.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
That's it.
All right. And with that, we are going to head on over into our announcement segment. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It'll be the
Yes.
last time I sing the song for the next 6 months. 5 to 6 months. Oh,
Aw.
it's the last announcement segments for the season. Oh, we're
Yes.
closing it out. Oh,
That is
this.
okay. So we don't have a special guest for this episode, but I just want to say thanks to our listeners for listening, viewers for viewing. I always say Spotify is that girl because that's where we can see our numbers. So our numbers have been growing. So thank you to everybody. Whether you share the podcast, whether you listening to it yourself, if you do like our content though, push that share button, text it to somebody,
Please.
and yeah, let them know what you think of our podcast. So thank you to everybody. And look,
Yes,
my
yes.
sweatshirt, podcast sweatshirt.
Yes, with the truth carpets.
Yes.
Sweatshirts on. Y'all can head over to the website and purchase it. All right, yes, we appreciate y'all. This is still the month of October, and we have our October post of the month, which is write a love letter to an object or place that makes you happy. Hell, if you don't even like the prompt or you want to write a letter to a place that does not make you happy, either way, we want y'all to flex that creative muscle. Flex that creative muscle. I'm thinking about writing a letter to my hometown of Oakland, California, you
Aw,
know? So
that's
that
cute.
exactly. So yes. So that is what's flexing your creative muscles for this month. And because this is the last episode, make sure that y'all are tuned in still to the IG page because we still have another prompt for November coming up and a prompt for December. So, we keep y'all writing throughout the entire year, baby.
Mm-hmm. So just so that you're in tune and staying abreast of everything, make sure you're following us on our social media. That is LoveLoudd, LoveLoudd, LLC on our Instagram page, and Facebook too, so that you can know what's going on with us. We may be going to some open mic events. We may be selling more stuff. Like you never know. A
Come
lot
on.
can happen within the break that we're about to have. So yeah, because we won't be in your ear in the next few months, just make sure that you're following us on that.
Yes, absolutely. And as you are listening, catching up, when you go back to season 1 or you re-listen to season 5 or listen to this episode 10 more times, kindly leave us a review. Let us know what you think. Matter of fact, let us know about some topics that you want to hear because we're about to start outlining the next season and we need some topics to discuss. We told y'all, this is episode 80. So,
Mm-hmm.
in order for us to have another 16 episodes, dang, by next season, we're going to be on episode 96.
That's good.
Ooh, that's good. Yes. So we're gonna need some topics or even some guests that y'all think would be very beneficial for us to interview. Please,
Mm-hmm.
please, please let us know. We appreciate y'all.
And shout out to speaking of guests, shout out to all the guests that we've had for season 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We wouldn't have those episodes if it wasn't for you, whether you share poetry or whether you were a guest on our Hot Topic segment and shared your world, shared the things that you are um, good at on our podcast. So thank you for that. Also, I wanted to say, because she's in my head right now, Keys. She always responds to our social media, giving comments and responding to the stuff that we have on our Instagram page. So I want to give a shout out to Keys. And also, I'm not a big Facebook person, but I did happen to go on Facebook one day, and it warmed my heart to see the people responding with pictures of their besties. I think you asked them when's the last time you spent time with your bestie, and they responded with pictures. That was really cute. So keep it going. I really enjoy that. It fills my heart because
Yes,
sometimes I feel like
absolutely.
maybe nobody's listening, but y'all do listen and y'all do
Yeah.
follow. So that's cool.
Yes, absolutely. And with that
Next,
being
we'll go to our
said,
website, right? Which is
oh, I thought I did that already.
loveloud.com. Well,
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
you can
just
get you can get my fleece this Icebreaker, Check-In, Sweet 223, the CAF endorsed segment, and community news off of our website. We also have books, our Love Loud Volume 1 and Volume 2, as well as our self-help book, as well as some a bestie mug, and Poetry is My Love Language mug, and t-shirts.
Yes, we got stuff.
I'm running out of breath. We have merch. So while our website is up and running, please support us. LoveLoudd.com. That's LoveLoudd.com. And you can cue your tears now. Go.
All right. So with that being said, I just want to thank y'all so much for tuning in to the finale. Send us y'all love and y'all blessings for us over the next few months until we come back, because life be lifing
and does.
You know what I'm saying? School ain't been easy, but I'm gonna get through it. And Yaya gonna be skating. So by the time we come back to it, we're gonna give y'all a true check-in on how our last few months have been.
I hope that I say that I learned how to do something.
You will and will. But we appreciate y'all. Thank you over and over again. Thank you so much. The love lives on. And with that, we are bringing Season 5, Episode 16, overall Truth Carpet, Episode 80, to a close, y'all. Thank you so much. And we will see y'all in 2025.
Yes. Y'all, thank you so much. Stay black.
Stay proud.
Bye.